Alright, Makina, we're here.
疲れた。暑くて死ぬ。ここがパパの実家?
Oh, the heat's such a problem, you should have worn something more appropriate. And again, you are, whatever. Welcome back to the Fruit of Grisaia. Last time we drove a motorcycle down here to this cabin. We grew up in. Well, I guess you could say that. Yeah, this is the house where I was raised. It's only been 2 months or so since I left, but the cabin's already under siege by thick wild grasses. Oh, okay. So this is where Yuuji was living beforehand? Okay. The sight inspires a small twinge of melancholy. I'm tempted to start attacking those weeds right away, but I guess we should go in and rest for a while first. Ha 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 ha, for so funny. Don't see hee me, kid. Now I have to call up Amane and give her yet another scolding. Removing my keyring from the carabiner I've been using to fasten it to my belt, I select an old-fashioned key with a dull golden color. I push it into the equally old-fashioned keyhole in the old finished teakwood door and give it one rotation to the left. The interior of the cabin, naturally enough, hasn't changed at all in the months since I last saw it. Even after I left, I'm pretty confident JB kept up that melodramatic habit of dropping by for a solitary drink in the memory of the departed. But although she's surprisingly averse to cleaning for someone with such an anal personality, it seems she wasn't quite lazy enough to leave her crumpled cans and potato chip wrappers lying around the place. Wait, did you expect Yuuji was literally just like thrown into an empty room and just told to fight and exercise? It's not like I was living on my own. Only partially paying attention to the conversation, I wander over to the fridge and reach for the handle. Still cold. Guess electricity's still flowing. Want something to drink? Might have been a hasty offer. Nothing but beer and smoked cheese, though. Naturally enough, I emptied out the fridge before leaving this cabin behind. What little we do have is clearly just leftovers from JB's visits. Other than the booze and snacks, there's also 3 bottles of my favorite eye drops sitting in the lower shelf. Probably the woman's attempt at a thoughtful gesture, in case I decide to return at some point. I retrieve 1 bottle of eye drops from the fridge and glance over at Makina. I'm guessing eye drops are sniping and stuff. Hey, Makina? Catch. A sniper's eyes are their life. Oh, let's just say it out loud and admit to everything. Give that stuff a try. If you apply some to both eyes 30 minutes before shooting and stretch your ocular muscles, your focusing speed changes pretty dramatically. Gazing curiously at the bottle in her hand, Makina carefully breaks the seal and leans her head back with mouth slightly ajar to apply the drops. I couldn't be a sniper, apparently. I can't do eye drops. I can't. I always blink. I always flinch at that shit. I mean, I can put in contacts perfectly fine, but I can't do eye drops and stuff. 1 drop per eye is plenty. No need to blink too much either. Give it a second, then start slowly moving your eyes in figure 8s. Her eyeballs begin to move back and forth underneath her lids. Makina's upper body sways along with them. Slowly open your eyes. Alternate between looking at something nearby and something far away. Helps you focus properly. Is she gonna see something? Far off in the distance? That's all there is to it. Just repeat this 4 times a day. Morning, noon, evening, and before you go to bed. You're still listening? That's quite a dedication. Makina's eyes, after focusing at random on a distant object, have stopped darting back and forth. She's staring at the middle of the small bookshelf, where a single photograph of Asako and me as a kid stands in a frame. When I left this cabin behind, I deliberately flipped it face down in an attempt to add a symbolic closure, but now it's been returned to its original position. Oh, damn it, JB. Mind your own damn business.
あの写真の人が師匠の人?
Yep, that's right. I reach out and take the frame from the bookshelf. This is the one and only photograph of Asako remaining in this world. It was taken not long after she first took me in, the day she dragged me off to a zoo in Ueno on what seemed like a whim. Not really a photograph I want to show off, but... I pass over the frame to Makina, who proceeds to intently contemplate the photo inside. Asako glowers at the camera, eyebrows furrowed in clear irritation. At her side, a younger me stares coldly at nothing in particular, eyes clouded but glittering with a venomous sheen. I've got a pretty awful look on my face, right? At the time, I was just completely empty. Didn't give a damn about anything or anyone. Pretty much just a dead kid that forgot to stop breathing. I guess Asako got so fed up watching me that she decided to try her hand at babysitting. Not exactly her field of expertise, you understand.
何があったの?
It's a long story, but the abbreviated version is that my whole family died, and I was deeply involved in their deaths. I was responsible, so I couldn't just push the blame on someone else. That self-loathing was probably just too much for me to deal with. Wrap myself up in a shell instead.
そっか.
But thanks to Asako, I managed to get back on my feet somehow. She gave me, if not a reason to live, then at least an excuse not to die. I might seem almost too vigorous these days, but if I hadn't met Asako, if Asako hadn't taken me in, I might have died a long time ago.
命の恩人?
Interesting. Yeah. Then she went and died before I had the chance to repay the debt. Unbelievable, right?
悲しいね.
That's not how I felt about it. Actually, I didn't really mourn when Asako passed. I'd been prepared for the possibility she might die at any time, but for some reason, I still had a hard time believing she was actually gone. Guess there was just a part of me that couldn't accept that monster of a woman was really dead. But there was one word that described Asako. It was ridiculous. Not a shred of common sense in her body. She was a bull of a woman, and the world was her personal china shop. And to me, she's something like a god or a devil. Maybe both.
悪鬼とか神とか、なんかとにかくすごい人だったのね.
Okay, here's the story. This actually happened the same day that picture was taken. I was just sitting around, wallowing in self-hatred, holding a private pity party, honestly. As if that was going to make up for anything. All of a sudden, Asako grabs me by the hand and drags me off to the zoo. She showed me all these animals I had never seen before. Elephants, giraffes, zebras, the whole deal. Probably hoping to at least get some sign of minor interest out of me. But, well, I was really acting like a brat back then. And I mean, I actually was a brat, but still. I kept myself inside that shell, not even twitching an eyebrow at anything she showed me. And I guess that attitude got Asako pretty irritable after a while. So the two of us are just standing there staring at the lions in complete silence. When all of a sudden, this one big guy opens his mouth wide and tries to scare us off with a giant roar. And the next thing I know, Asuka's bellowing, "Shut the hell up! Don't grab me, asshole! I'll fucking kill you!" So, yeah, she was that sort of person who'd get into a shouting contest with the King of Beasts and win. Woman was nuts.
すげえ.
Well, I mean, her opponent was locked up in a cage. Anyone could have yelled at him if they wanted to. But when Asako screamed in his face, the animal actually flinched and just backed away slowly. You should have seen the look on his face. So there I was, gawking at her with my eyes wide open, thinking, oh, this woman's a complete lunatic, when I noticed I was smiling. I guess that was the moment when I started slowly regaining halfway normal emotions.
そのおかげで私もパパと出会えたんだから、私も感謝するべきだよね.
I don't know about that. Who says meeting me was really a good thing? Hard to know for sure yet, don't you think?
そうかも もしんないけどさ、でも少なくとも私の人生に一番大きく影響しているのってパパなんじゃないかな。
Really hard to deny that at the very least. Ah, when you put it like that, I feel a little weight on my shoulders. Hey. Hey, Asuko. I feel the same way as Magina. I remember what you said to me just before you died. Sorry, Yuuji. Ran my big mouth about teaching you how to live, but training you to do an ugly job in the shadows was the best I could manage. Maybe so, but I'm still grateful to you. Because even now, your words are what kept me stumbling forward. Without intending to do so, I ended up on a fairly lengthy digression about my past. Among many mixed emotions, a small flush of embarrassment rose to the surface. In an effort to hide this, I abruptly declared break time over, and led Makina around the shed out back. Although we always called it a shed, the building itself is still pretty impressive. Not different from the main cabin in size. It's a storehouse packed full of tools and provisions necessary to live up here. I pull Makina along to the storehouse, seeking out weapons with which to confront the well-entrenched hordes of weeds that have flourished in the summer heat. Oh yay, weed whacking time. Specifically, we retrieve a few hand scythes and spades, an old lawnmower, and a pair of straw hats hanging from nails on the wall. Ah, right, he was doing something like this at the festival too, so I guess he had quite a bit of experience. A good straw hat with a wide brim is indispensable for weeding under the blazing sun. I put on the hat Asuko used when she was alive, and dropped the smaller one I wore as a child onto Makina's head. It takes us another 5 minutes of climbing up the mountain to reach Asuko's grave. Not far from the summit, her gravestone stands in a spot affording an unbroken view of the basin below. While the location may be good, that gravestone, end quote, itself is hardly worthy of the name. It's just a huge, fairly decent looking rock picked at random from the woods, then half buried into the ground to keep it erect. In fact, the rough surface of the stone doesn't even have her name chiseled into it. It's a crude marker and nothing else. Even so, there's no doubt that Asuko's remains are resting here. I was the one who took the ashes from the funeral home and buried them. I was the one who raised the gravestone above them. When it came to religion, Asuko's official position was no policy. She used to half joke about it. If I croak, just bury me wherever. I won't complain as long as you burn me up first. You can just poke a popsicle stick in the ground for a gravestone. Left with these half-assed instructions to work off, after Asuko's death, JP arranged for the cremation, then agreed to leave the rest entirely to me. I was at a complete loss for a while, but in the end, I decided to make the mountain, where we lived together, her final resting place. Nobody criticized that choice, remote and lonely as it might seem. Asuko never had a family to begin with, and her best friend JB had no complaints about my decision. But since I was the one who chose this place, the duty of maintaining it also rests with me. Starting the engine of the lawnmower, I pushed here from the shed. I had Makina hang back while I mow down the weeds in one sweep. When that's done, I switch my spade and quietly begin digging away at their stubborn roots. Makina follows behind as I steadily work my way around the clearing. As I hack down the weeds and pull them out of the earth, she picks them up and collects them in heavy-duty trash bags. It's ridiculously hot, dirty, and monotonous work. Not a fun job in any way, shape, or form, but Makina holds out surprisingly well, not complaining even once as we fight our way through this overgrown wild grasses. We keep it up for maybe 2 hours, covered in sweat and grime. It feels even longer than that. By the time I finally sit down and stretch out my aching back, having fully liberated Asuko's gravestone from the summer weeds that had nearly engulfed it, we've filled about 80 of our 70-liter trash bags. We filled 8 of our 70-liter trash bags to the brim. Oh, I guess that's good enough. I slowly raise my tired body off the ground, then turn around to look Makina in her dirt-smeared face. Looking at the girl, biting her lower lip, there's something uncertain in her eyes. I realize I've been hacking away the weeds in total silence all this time. She may have been struggling along beside me in an attempt to be considerate. Slightly touched, I speak to her in the gentlest tone of voice I can manage. You're tired, right? let's call it a day. Taking the towel I wrapped around my neck for protection against the sun, I wiped the dirt from her face. Apparently understanding from the gesture that I finished this simple greeting to my departed friend, Makina's formerly tense face loosens into a dopey, ticklish smile. By the time the colors of the evening fill the sky, we've put away our tools and returned to the grave. I light a bundle of wooden chopsticks resting on a plate from the cabin's kitchen, a small welcoming fire for Asuko's spirit. Since Asuko loved her drink, I also brought a can of beer from the fridge. Popping it open, I set it upside down on top of the gravestone and let the contents pour out. The thin, flustering flame in its column of smoke on the signal beacon, and the beer's the bait to make sure she doesn't hesitate to drop by. Oh boy. I close my eyes and press my hands together. A moment later, I can hear Makina do the same. Hey, Asuka. I'm still dragging my sorry hide around, trying to figure out why he kept me alive. No luck on that front. But even so, I think there are a few things I'm starting to understand. Little by little. The things I can do, things only I can do, things I have to do, the things I want to do. Tell me something, Asuko. Was this how it was for you as well? Did it start off just as a whim, taking me in like that? Even so, did that small presence at your side end up becoming your reason to live? I'm starting to feel like I can understand now. Not that it's that complicated, really. You just saw a face one day, and somehow you just vaguely knew it was the one thing in the world you needed to protect. Am I right? All of a sudden, you're telling yourself, I get it now. Maybe I've been living all this time so I could be here for this, to protect this one thing. This is Arisu Makina. I speak out loud to the wavering flame, introducing Makina to Asuko's grave. See? Look at that. I found something I want to protect as well. Just as you had your doubts back then. I don't know yet if I'm making the right decision. And I understand that things never go as smoothly as planned. Amane and I, currently playing the roles of Mommy and Daddy, probably do possess broader experience and knowledge than Makina. And we like to think that we understand her to some degree. But even so, I can't say with any confidence that the well-intentioned advice we give her is necessarily worthwhile. In separating the right from the wrong, there's only one decision that won't lead to regret. The one Makina makes herself. Right now, she says she wants to be a picker and a sniper. But whatever road she chooses to follow, the decision ultimately has to be up to her. You told me something about this once, right? If you want people to choose the better path, listen carefully to the people who've walked the trail before you, as many of them as you can find. Fortunately enough, Makina is still very young. She don't have the chance to hear many people's thoughts, and I think she should actively seek them out. There's a limit to the amount of information any one human being can directly obtain. Don't get caught up with the things in front of your nose. Keep trying for the big picture perspective, and you won't go wrong too often. Right? How's it go? Hey, Makina. Wanna say a little something to Asuko as well? Still clasping her hands together and keeping her eyes shut, Makina quietly opens her mouth to speak. If it wasn't for you, I don't think Papa and I would have met. So, thank you. Makina's softly mumbled words hit me harder than I expected. Let's go. You moved on and left me behind. You did enough. You accomplished the job you were here to do. That's why you were allowed to die. I haven't earned that right yet, but I'll get there someday. I know I will. Think you can wait for me until then? Your gravestone offers no reply to my silent question. I know perfectly well that this entire ceremony is nothing but a way for those left behind to find something like comfort, but I can still feel the heat spreading beneath my eyelids. Alright, I'm hungry. Want to eat? Taking the plate in one hand, as our small fire begins to glitter out, then seizing Makina's small hand in the other, I set off down the rough trail leading back to the cabin. As twilight gives way to darkness, I twist open the propane stopcock and leave the bath water to heat as I begin preparing dinner. But of course, the fridge is a barren wasteland, and the vegetable garden up behind the shed was run wild with weeds. Our only viable provisions at the moment would be the stores of vacuum-packed instant rice and canned salmon piled up in the shed. Okay. Whatever makes you... I mean, if it's what you have to eat, it's what you have to eat. That was nice, I suppose. Obviously, you can only relate so much to this Yuuji's very unique situation. I can't say I've ever had something so... I've never had something as similar. I've never had someone that I considered to be in that sort of role die on me. Honestly, I've never really had someone so specific to that role. Period. Honestly, I've never really experienced that. I've gotten little bits of information here and there over my life. A lot from my father and whatnot, but even that, I've never really treated like that sort of relationship, more just like as a father. But I suppose it's hard for me to completely relate to a situation, and at the very least I can sympathize. If I can't pretend I understand. I can't manage much other than gruel or fried rice with this. Oh, great. Plain pasta. That'll be delicious. Pasta? Oh, those are actually straight ramen noodles. Completely forgot we had that stuff. The packages Machina misidentified as pasta contain long strands of dried instant ramen noodles. We used to have these stashed all over the place, and the Hakata pork bones flavor in particular was one of Asuko's favorite foods. After a few beers, she'd almost always devour a bowl of ramen, heaping with vegetables. That brings me back. Asuko used to make these for me all the time when she got drunk. Oh boy, that's an interesting memory. Normally, you're supposed to boil these for 3 minutes, but Asuko opted for a 60-second stir-fry in the pan. She'd focus mainly on eating the toppings, picking out a well-simmered noodle only every once in a while. Machina, you haven't tried these before, have you? Want to have some? That said, we've got nothing in the way of toppings. Can't hope to imitate the Asuko-style tower of fried bread sprouts and cabbage doused in vegetable oil. Fortunately enough, we do discover dry chives and roasted sesame seeds under the sink. It's not, if not bread, pickled ginger, or strips of pork. It's a little more than a plain ramen. But in combination with the fried rice, we've at least gotten a somewhat respectable looking meal on our table 15 minutes later. Rather than dinner, it does seem more like an oversized midnight snack. But perhaps owing to Amane's strong anti-instant ideological leanings, Machina seems to find some novelty value in the meal. She gobbles down the ramen in the blink of an eye, repeatedly yelping, "Delicious!" By the time we finish with this somewhat rough supper, the hour hand on the clock's turned past 8. Returning to Miyama at this hour would be far too troublesome. And more than anything else, I'm concerned about the danger Machina might fall asleep on the back seat and slip right off. All things considered, it'd clearly be best to set up camp in the cabin for the night, then make our way back tomorrow morning. We should probably inform someone that we're not coming back, right? Well, screw that. Her belly full, Machina's already begun to mumble incoherently on the verge of sleep. I haul her to her feet and unceremoniously strip off her clothes, then launch her into the bath with a kick in the rear, tossing her dirty outfit into the beat-up old washer-dryer just outside the bathroom door. We're still awake in there. As I'm transferring her wet clothes to the dryer half of the machine, I call out to Machina for the 3rd time in the last 10 minutes. Last thing I need is for the girl falling asleep in the tub and drowning herself. That would make a really anticlimactic end to this whole "I found something to live for." Oh, fuck, crap, no, what, no, it just happened, oh, crap. If I strain my ears, I can make out the sound of Machina splashing around with her body, as well as her cheerful rendition of Tuna Fish Man's theme song, which mainly involves yelling, "Makuru Man, fighting for justice," repeatedly in the jumble of English and Japanese. But seriously, isn't that ghastly human-tuna hybrid really supposed to... Is that ghastly human-tuna hybrid really supposed to be a superhero? Just seeing the character that in context, I'm pretty sure I would have pegged him as a hideous monster of the week rather than the protagonist. But then again, the world's a place of constant change. Maybe the children of the world have acquired a taste for the avant-garde and the Saturday morning entertainment. I can't recall that ever being a thing, but okay. Either way, it seems I've still got a lot to learn. When Makina gets out of the bath, I wrap a white towel snugly around her head and twist it back and forth until her hair's dry, and slip an old Oxford shirt from my days as a student in America onto her as a temporary substitute for her clothes. Naked except for a long-sleeved man's dress shirt several sizes too large, Makina begins loosely bending her waist back and forth like a patient suffering a dysentery. Then she coos ooh la la in a high-pitched voice tone.
私セクシー
Alright, wait here. I'll get a dictionary so you can take a careful look at the definition of the word sexy.
ちっとぐれ脳殺されたふりしてくれてもバチは当たんないと思うのよ
You wanna be my daughter? You better get used to the lack of any sexual attraction. Whatever my faults, I pride myself on my sincerity towards woman. Before her bath, Makina's eyelids seem to have grown about as heavy as lead, but the hot water seems to have given her something of a second wind. It takes a little doing to get her crammed into bed. Although she nods off easily enough in the middle of the day, the girl actually has a habit of refusing to fall asleep when you actually want her to. Normally I could leave this to Mane, but that's obviously not an option today. Fortunately, no matter how much Makina grumbles about not being sleepy yet, when I forcibly scoop her up, she always ceases the struggle and wraps her arms around my neck. Like a small child. Basically, the girl's just scared of going to bed alone. After that, it's a simple matter of depositing her in bed and holding her hand for the 30 minutes or so until she falls asleep in earnest. When I lift Makina's small body in my arms, I'm struck by the sense of familiar shampoo, mingling with the subtly feminine smell of her skin. It reminds me so strongly of Asuko that I actually start a little in surprise.
ねパパこの前のお話の続きをして
Which one was I telling you again?
ねパパがアメリカに住んでた頃の話で友達と賭けをして180メートル先の標的に当てたってやつ
Bullshit. This never happened. Who would be in America and be using meters? What? Again? I've already told you that one 3 times today.
もう一回聞きたいよあとみんなでハイキングに行った時の社会15センチの話も聞きたい
Apparently, she just really likes hearing about my past. You really like that stuff for some reason, don't you? I'm not sure why she finds this sort of thing so interesting, but Makina's burning to hear my stories lately. The flower pot, the cat, and the severed head. His name was Ryback. Unlucky Zippo. Where's the telephone? Hatu Island. From among these fairly well-varied assortments of anecdotes, there's one in particular that's clearly become the girl's favorite. Specifically, 180 meters from scrubbing the John. Right. So, this was back when I was 14 years old, attending Uncle Sam's school in America. One day, I ended up making a bet with a classmate. I had been distinguishing myself as a sniper at the time, and this particular classmate kept coming at me with this stupid line, "What's with the rifle specialty? Isn't your name Uzi?" Is it? Kazumi? Or I don't know. I think they mentioned something about his, what they called him in school a while back. I don't really remember. Not only did I not fight back, I didn't show the slightest sign of irritation at the stupid joke, which eventually pissed my classmate off pretty badly. They ended up challenging me to a bet, hoping to knock me down a peg or 2 or 5 or whatever. The bet itself was about as simple as they come. I had to land a shot off a can of tomatoes from 200 yards. Yay, 200 yards. Okay, this is a realistic story now. Sounded pretty damn pointless, so I refused to play along at first. But when my classmate offered to take over a week's worth of laundry duty if I won, my perspective on the matter changed. After managing to bargain my way up to 3 shots, I ultimately accepted the bet. But there was one major problem: the rifle I had to use. At the time, I didn't have authorization to use anything but a small bore and 22 caliber rounds. So inevitably, the gun I was using for this bet was just a 22 LR bolt action rifle. Normally speaking, you'd want to be firing a small bore rifle at 25 to 50 meters. The bullet itself can travel a good 1600, but the effective range normally maxes out at less than 100. Not only was I using this thing for a shot from 200 yards, but slightly over 182 meters, it was taking place outside where I'd have to deal with the wind too. Feeling like pretty shitty odds, but on the second round I managed to felt like pretty shitty odds, but on the second round I managed to make a hit. Naturally, that meant I was the winner of our bet, but unfortunately, one of the instructors found out I'd taken a rifle without permission, so instead of a laundry-free week for leisure, I ended up being ordered to scrub latrines until shit smelled like daisies. Damn. But then I had my week, yeah? No? Okay. But apparently the tomato can I shot is still enshrined at the school cafeteria, along with the photographic evidence. I'm not trying to get all nostalgic about my wild youth or whatever, but I can't help smiling a little wryly. More at my inability to tell Makina a halfway decent bedtime story than anything else. Well, if she enjoys it, then I suppose it's okay. But when I finally snapped back to reality, I realized that Makina's closed her eyes and began mumbling in her sleep. The lengthy trip and weeding in the sun must have tired her out after all. Feeling more than a little relieved, I quietly leave the cabin with my cell phone in hand. Although there is a tower relatively close by, the signal is not particularly good inside the cabin itself. I walk up a little ways until the meter at the top of my screen displays 3 bars, then call up the contacts list and select Komini Sachi's name. After about 3 rings, she picks up the phone and instantly, not even bothering to say hello, begins hurling questions at me. Oh, she didn't contact me if she was this curious? Okay.
Kazami-san ですか? 今どちらにおられるのです? 先ほどから何度かお電話をさせていただいていたのですが.
Oh, she did. Okay. Cell phone signal was really that bad. Okay. Sorry, the reception's not so great out here.
帰りが遅いので皆さん心配しておられます。何時頃にお戻りになられますか?
Right, about that. We're actually still in Yamanashi. Makina's already fallen asleep, so for tonight we're going to stay out here and head back tomorrow around noon.
お泊まりですね.
Roll my eyes. Sorry for the trouble, but would you mind looking after Makina's crawfish and apple seedling while we're away?
お泊まりですか?
You really want me to answer that? No, the signal's fine. I could hear the first time. No need to repeat the question 20 decibels louder.
何? 今お泊まりって言った？言ったわよね。どういうこと？ホテルに泊まるの?
She just wants to get everyone's attention, didn't she? And Michiru just comes over and just like snatches the phone out of her hand like, the fuck are you doing, Yuuji?
そんでゴム使い切るまで帰ってこないってこと？そうなの？そうなんだ。けだもの、ユージ。あんたけだものよ。
See? Now look what we've done. That noisy blonde's in full squawk.
すみません。少々お待ちいただけますか?
Just like, I don't know. Put her in a chokehold and get her to the ground and continue talking after that. Yeah, not a problem, I guess. Did you just knock her out with like a vase? Huh? Hey, Sachi? What was that sound?
すみません、風見さん。少しみちる様には落ち着きを取り戻していただきましたので、何も問題はありません。
Okay, well, that's a thing. I see, so sorry for the hassle.
それで、ザリガニの世話とリンゴの苗ですね。
Oh, yeah. That's right, we should be back tomorrow afternoon, so I doubt it'll be a problem. But I appreciate if you just keep an eye on them.
かしこまりました。すべてはこの私にお任せください。風見さんは安心して焦らずゆっくりとお気をつけてお戻りください。
Well, thanks. I'll make sure to bring you some hotto and black honey rice cakes as a souvenir.
はい。それで、
What's up?
差し出がましいことを申すようで気が引けるのですが、否認だけはご注意をいただければと。
My head. Ow, okay. I really hope it doesn't go that direction. Please don't. Not to worry, I picked up a 24-pack of rippers on the way over. Yes, best way to handle it, Yuuji. Best fucking way to handle it. It's a joke. Don't clam up on me.
はい。25回目に気をつけてください。
Oh, I fucking hope you're joking. I'm telling you, it was a joke. I'm not going to do anything. In the first place, Makina's already asleep, remember?
寝ているところをズブリと
Fucking hell, Sachi. You're really determined about this, aren't you?
冗談です。風見流ジョークですね。
I can dish it out, but I can't take it. I'm going to hang up now.
はい。では、お帰りを心からお待ちしております。おやすみなさいませ。
Night. What's going on with that girl? I feel like there's a lot more venom in her tongue lately, and her problem solving's definitely getting a little on the violent side. Amani and Michiru seem to think that it's entirely my fault, but I don't remember giving Sachi any orders to act like this. In fact, I make every effort to give her only strictly appropriate instructions. But come to think of it, there was that one incident the other day. Selling back in another one of my stories, and paused to note the most efficient ways to help a panicked officer cadet regain presence of mind in a foxhole. Sachi, who'd been listening in, not with deep conviction, commented, "I see. In other words, blunt weapons are the best medicine for derangement." Oh, fuck. Surely unrelated. Just another example of the female need to blame every problem on a man. Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah, Yuuji, you've never been sexist. That sort of unfounded generalizing is probably exactly the kind of thing that turns women against us. Oh my goodness. Oh, is irony the right word? I feel like irony is appropriate here, but it helps me regain the necessary composure to make my second call. I chose Amane's number and returned the phone to my ear. Ooh. Oh, she not pick. A completely unfamiliar woman's voice answers the phone.
はーい、もしもし、誰？
Huh. It sort of sounds like Amane's trying to be cutesy, but who the hell are you supposed to be? I pull the phone away from my ear and double check the screen, but I'm definitely connected to the number marked Suo Mane.
うわ、こわ。なんや、めっさ怒ってはるけど、どないしょ。
Is it like his sister?
ああ、ちょっとやめてよ。それ私の携帯じゃない。返して。ごめんね、彼氏。今、アマネに返すから。もしもし？誰？ユージ？
Yeah, it's me. Who the hell was that woman?
ああ、ごめん。私今こっちの友達とカラオケに来ててさ、男の名前から電話がかかってきたからいたずらしたみたい。
Huh. You have friends? I'm sorry, but I have a hard time believing anyone going to Mihama would be the sort of person who'd, like, go home and have a bunch of friends they can go out to karaoke with. Okay, well, I guess I'll take that at face value for now. You people aren't dabbling in hard drugs, are you?
するわけないでしょ。っていうか何？電話なんかしてきて珍しい。ユージ、愛してる。もううるさい。静かにしてってば。
Mane, my friends, I prescribe a dose of blunt weaponry to the head.
は？何言ってんの？ちょっと待って、今部屋出るから。
Why am I not hearing music in the background if you're doing karaoke? Oh my. On the other side of the line, I hear the sound of Mane opening a door and a chorus of shrill voices hooting at her.
ごめん、お待たせ。どうしたの？急に私の声が聞きたくなったとか？
Yeah, that's right. I just want to hear that voice of yours, so I can help giving you a call. Did I make a nuisance of myself?
そんなことはないけど。
I see. Alright then, enough joking around. Let's get to the actual main topic. Here's the thing, Amane. Maki and I are currently in Yamanashi.
はい？なんで山梨？あ、そっか。お墓参り？
That's right. Came with the idea pretty suddenly after we saw you off in the morning. I borrowed your Bobotaro for the trip.
あ、おば太郎ちゃんと動いた？
Yeah, you've been having trouble with the engine suddenly dying you at random times, right? CDI is probably the issue.
CDI って言われても私にはわかんないけど。
Wait. Okay, another suspicious thing. Amane, you were just full of suspicious stuff. How do you have a super tricked out modified motorcycle, but you don't even know what the components are called? I mean, you're riding a hot rod and you don't even know that much?
だって改造したの私じゃないもの。 ていうか、あの状態でバイク屋さんから買ったのよ。
Huh? Can you even buy something like that from a dealer? I suppose if it was used. I don't know. Why would you buy that? What kind of store would sell what kind of store would sell a ridiculous lowrider like that?
16の時に免許取って、なんかいいのないかなって近所のバイク屋さんに行ったら、
Why did he want a motorcycle? You really don't seem the type.
ちょうどそのお店の店員さんが大型に乗り換えるって話でね。
Okay.
前に乗ってたやつを安く売ってくれるって言うから、何も考えないで買っちゃったのよね。でもまあ、原因が分かってよかったわ。なんか信号待ちしてる時とか、突然ストーンと止まっちゃって、30分くらい冷まさないとエンジンがかかんないから困ってたのよ。
Yeah, that does sound like a pain. Huh. The wiring inside the CDI is probably swelling from the heat, disconnecting it temporarily.
なるほどね。修理したらいくらぐらいかかるのかな。
What's the actual problem? And are CDIs typically something you can take apart and reassemble without the expertise? Because, like, for example, if you want to fix an engine component, typically it's a really delicate process, and while the actual fix itself could be simple, the process of disassembling an engine compartment, like in a car, to the point where you can actually replace it or do the simple thing you need to do to the fix, could make everything worse. You disassemble it and then you try to reassemble it and everything's wrong, and you really need expert hands on that sort of thing. So it depends whether Yuuji can do it himself or if the labor of an expertise is required. I'm not a motorcycle mechanic. I can't tell you that much.
ま、いいわ。ボバ太郎は貸してあげるから、気をつけて乗るのよ。
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure we were. Yeah, understood. I won't do anything stupid.
マキナはどうしてるの？ちゃんとご飯食べてる？
Well, let's see. For lunch we had cinnamon rolls and pumpkin bread makina bake. Dinner was ramen and fried rice.
ちょっと、全然野菜を食べてないじゃない。約束と違うじゃないのよ。
Sorry, I'll make sure to feed her something green tomorrow.
きっとよ。なんか不安だな。朝昼晩とちゃんと食べさせて、夜の8時以降は何も食べさせちゃダメよ。
Oh boy. What? Is this some kind of magical What? Is she some kind of magical gremlin? Whatever. I'll be careful. If anything does come up, you'll be the first to know. Obviously. You know, outside of Sachi.
わかった。それじゃあ気をつけて帰るのよ。マキナに怪我させないでね。
That has been the plan. Understood. Alright then. Good night.
おやすみ。ちゃんと私の夢を見るの
I'm
よ。
not even on your route and you're still going, oh, you just hang up on me. Okay, okay. Spare me. I get enough lectures in my waking hours. For some reason, my dreams are always nightmares. Alright then. That just leaves. I scroll down to JB's name on my phone's contact list, then press the call button. I have to say though, I'm a man of many callers. The trip itinerary I submitted to JB earlier didn't include any reference to staying the night away from my post. Of course, my employer is probably aware that I'm still in Yamanashi. I'd be very surprised if they hadn't been tracking the GPS on my other cell phone this entire time. Still, that doesn't mean I can get away with completely blowing off the formalities. Even if I don't get in touch, it's easy to picture that shaggy-headed blonde griping and scolding at me again. But if I take the initiative to call instead of making her do it, the voltage of her lightning bolts should decrease slightly.
ただいま電話に出ることができません。ピーという発信音の後にお名前とご用件をお話しください。
This feels, oh my goodness, that was so much more formal. What's this? You burning the midnight oil over there? Kazami Yuuji and Arisu Magina, status normal. My current location is Asuko's cabin in Yamanashi. Schedule return to post by 1200 hours tomorrow. End of message. After recording this extremely concise summary of the necessary information, I'm just on the verge of hanging up when I reflexively hesitate. After a moment's pause, I return the receiver to my mouth once more. Night, Julia. The hour being what it is, recording a little extra in the way of pleasantries shouldn't cause any issues. My message complete, I hang up and finally snap the phone shut. As I slide the phone into my back pocket, a sigh slips unprompted out of my mouth. The isolated mountain night, the only sounds are the rustling trees and the wind and the chirping of insects reveling in the summer. I don't mind not hearing people on their machines in the least. but the bugs are fairly noisy in their own right. That said, it just makes you feel anxious when things get too quiet. Human beings are pretty hard to please. Hearing nothing but the sounds you make yourself is a genuinely terrifying thing. There was a time years ago when I woke up half buried under a pile of soil and sand. Better still, I couldn't remember how I'd come to be there. I must have stayed there for a good 3 minutes before finally recalling that a field artillery shell had landed nearby. Pushed away violently by the man behind me, I'd fallen roughly into a foxhole as dirt rained down. When I crawled up out of the hole, I noticed that my eardrums were malfunctioning pretty badly. I couldn't hear a thing other than a high-pitched ringing sound. It was in the middle of the night, so my field of vision was just poor. Small slivers of moonlight trickling through the trees weren't enough to make out any movement around me. The fear that had been swirling around my gut became a cold dread creeping slowly at my spine. It felt like I might be the only person on Earth, as if I'd been left behind on the dead and empty husk of a world. The night can be very dark sometimes. When I'm facing it alone, I always remember that moment. Once again, looking up into the sky, I hear her name slip out of my mouth. Just how long am I planning to drag her memory around like a ball and chain? It's not like Asuko wanted that herself. She told me flat out, didn't she? If I die, forget about me within a year. It's been a year and a half. I should have forgotten about her completely by now, but I promised I would. But it's hard, Asuko. Being alone. Stop sniveling and grow a pair. You have someone to protect yourself now, don't you? I can almost hear the words. Feel the slap upside the head. But she's no longer here to deliver them. Yeah, I sort of get the feeling for at least where Yuji's coming from. Alone. And all his stuff about deserving any of this. Probably, it seems like it has, like, the stuff he went on about, like, a long time ago. Well, I suppose not a long time ago. But basically throughout, like, the common route. Seems very obviously connected to the idea that he doesn't really have anything to live for, that he feels as though he needs to repay the debt he accumulated by Asuko taking him in and everything. So I suppose it's just like one of those things where basically he's returning to the self-loathing because he hasn't found purpose, and Asuko gave him purpose, and now he, I guess, has found some more purpose with Machina, which I think is a pretty good character route for him at the very least. You know, assuming he doesn't go in really weird directions. Oh, but it will. It will, won't it? The next day, just as Sketch and Machina and I returned to Mihama Academy dorm a little before noon. Although the total length of our trip was barely more than a day. For Machina, it seems to have qualified as a genuine adventure. From the moment she woke up this morning, the girl was even more hyper than usual. She insisted that just heading back wouldn't be no fun, so after I deposited her in the tandem seat, we ate a quick breakfast of dried fish in the diner open early for the local fishermen, then drove around on a lightning tour of the majority local sightseeing points. And we eventually winded our way leisurely back while taking frequent breaks. Yep, she's definitely hyper. I don't understand what you're supposed to be ashamed about. Man, it's not like we went to Guam or something, you know?
Kazami-san, Maki-chan, okaerinasai.
I hope you haven't just been waiting here for us. Yep, we're home.
どうでしたか? お墓参りの方は。楽しかったのよさ。帰りに立ち寄ったタッポート山から見た雄大な景色はまさに絶景だったのよ。
I can sort of appreciate Machina sort of at least seeming like she's trying to change the subject from the grave. That's in Saipan. You climbed Mount Fuji, and we only made it as far as the 5th station. Now it's Hawaii? Incidentally, the things you're waving around with the giant grin on your face are rice cakes with black honey.
結局どちらまで行かれたのでしょう? 南国?
There's not like it. Wait, is there an actual place called Oceana? Shoot, I don't know. I know I've seen that in like fiction, but I don't know if there's like an actual location in the current geography of the world that would be considered that. Huh? Okay, don't start morphing into abstract geopolitical constructs.
So,
帰ってきたのね。
Oh my goodness.
ユミちゃん、恥ずかしながら帰ってまいりました。
そのネタはさっき聞いたわ。
ソロモンよ。
そういうネタはもういいから。
Bombarded by Machina's raw energy, elevated beyond baseline levels into something perilously close to a frenzy, Sagaki sighs heavily, her expression vaguely gloomy. I can practically see the words, "The return of the troublemaker," rising up her throat, only to be forced back down through an effort of will.
昨日は平和な一日だったわね。
遠くを見つめるようにしみじみとそういうこと言うなよ。
I mean, she probably isn't lying.
うるさいわね。頭痛いんだから大きな声出さないでよ。
Do you remember why you have a headache?
お？チルチル二日酔い？
Yeah, that's it.
違うわよ。なんでか知らないけど頭がズキズキするのよね。
I should just...
昨日の夜の記憶もなんだか曖昧だし。
Zachi, violence is never okay, especially for something that minor.
勉強のしすぎではありませんか？頭は大切にしてくださいね。大事に使えば一生使えますから。
I would be fucking hopeful.
何か？
Oh, I wonder. No, just wondering where to begin jabbing at that. I mean, the idea of Michiru studying is enough to make you die laughing. And if your head ever stops functioning, your life's over. So the second part of the sentence is a meaningless truism. But first and foremost, you're the one who judged that deranged blonde to be a threat and subdued her through blunt force.
風見さんがどうしても突っ込みたいのであれば潔く突っ込まれますが、できれば突っ込まないでください。
Sachi's so fucking aggressive in this round, my goodness. I see. At times, it's hard being a man.
何の話よ。
I'm not sure anymore.
突っ込みたがる男と突っ込まれるのを嫌がる女。ままならねえもんだな。よくわかんないけど、とにかく静かにしなさいよ。つかあんた、なんか妙にテンション高くない？
Well, it seems I put the girl to bed too early last night. She woke up at 4:30 in the morning today. Didn't seem like she was going back to bed anytime soon, so I ended up leaving a little earlier than planned, and we improvised a half-assed little sightseeing tour on our way back.
あんまり寝てないから無駄にはい。
Yeah, that's it.
それに追加して旅行のバカンス気分の余韻がまだ抜けていないようね。楽しかったということだけは覚えていて、何を見てきたのかはまるで覚えていない。遠足から帰った小学生ってきっとこんな感じなのね。
I can't say I really know that well to say that's true or not true, but I guess probably.
失敬だなお前。ちゃんと山にも行って湖にも行ってきたっつうの。
じゃあ何山に登って何湖を見てきたか覚えている？
Didn't I just tell her these?
アポさんとおまか？
Great. Once again, Machina's slippers squeak with an unnaturally convenient timing.
今、なんて言った？
Oh yeah, let's do this.
聞き返すその勇気、敬服します、みちる様。
Huh? Close, but no, they're both the tallest mountains in their countries, but that one's in the Philippines. Also, I don't remember taking you all the way to South America. By the way, the lake really exists, so there's no need for the slipper squeaking. Just like Yuuji faces the camera. Guys, it's a real thing. Calm down. Calm down.
全然惜しくないじゃないのよ。
というか、イリスさん、あなたわざと言い間違えていない？
I'm never sure.
そぎゃんこつは仲よ。
熊本？
Probably more often than not, she is doing it on purpose, though. Well, I don't know. Maybe this is a bit of a rebound.
何それ？
Even Machina wouldn't run around shrieking on a visit to a grave. Maybe this is just the recoil from all the time she spent actually behaving herself. Then again, I did see a new side of her, so maybe the whole hyperact is an attempt at hiding her embarrassment.
そういうこと言うのよくないよ。キャラがブレるじゃんかさ。
So it is true to some extent. In any case, I'm glad we got back in one piece.
なんだかお疲れのご様子ですね。
Yeah, I won't deny I'm a little worn out. Amane's Bobotaro is fine for tooling around the neighborhood, but it's not just that suited for long distance travel. I couldn't quite stomach taking that thing into the expressway, so we came all the way back on the local roads. That probably contributed to the fatigue as well.
お風呂にでも入られて少しお休みになられてはどうでしょう。いいね。私もお風呂入って寝る。
Hold on, don't you have your part-time job this afternoon?
ああ、2時からなのよさ。だからさっちん、1時に起こして。わかった。1時だね。
To be honest, I wasn't able to get much rest at all last night. I've had a surprising string of days recently when I've managed to get a solid 8 hours of sleep, so I'd almost started to forget. But I've never been a deep sleeper, and typically jerk awake several times a night. Yesterday was a particularly awful example. It's not like I'm physically exhausted, but I can definitely feel something like mental weariness weighing down on me. So after reporting our safe return to Amane and JB, I apply my eye drops and lie down. Practically the moment my eyes close, some tense cord inside me snaps at last, and I tumble down into unconsciousness. Oh, 7? That's okay. I almost slept a full night. When I heard about the bombing, the sky outside had already grown pink. Bombing. And the cries of the skater were beginning to cool down to the scorched earth. With a few hours of deep and dreamless sleep behind me, I walk out into the lobby, trying to shake off the slight lingering heaviness in the core of my head. Encounter Sakaki there, glued to the television, and receive the unexpected news that the bombing had taken place in the vicinity of the Michima Cape station. Wait, what? According to the news program, she's watching an automobile parked by the road in the shopping district abruptly explode around 6 this evening. Wait, what? But that's not what I needed to know right now. And... is Makina alright?
現場のすぐ近くにいたみたいだけれど、無事だったみたい。
Good. However,
少し様子がおかしかったわ。多分、あまり見たくないものを見てしまって、少しショックを受けたようね。
Okay, a lot of shit just went down with me sleeping. Okay, I see. Where is she now?
小峰さんが付き添って、スオーさんの部屋で横になっているわ。今はそっとしておいてあげて。
Maybe for you. I'm sort of in the position I should be going to her yet. Alright. The word bombing means it was an explosion caused by someone carelessly overturning a fuel tanker, or some other accident of that sort. It looks like the vehicle that exploded was a standard-sized passenger automobile, but from the low-resolution images on the television news program, it's not possible to identify the model or brand. However, Sakaki's clicking away at her notebook PC as we're watching the show, and eventually finds a better quality photograph taken at the scene on the internet. Through that, we're able to establish that it was a German luxury car. A vehicle had completely flipped over. German luxury? Wait, what did JB drive? That sounds familiar. Flipped over from the force of the explosives, but as a rule, German automobiles are built sturdy. The body itself may be damaged beyond the point of repair, but the cabin wasn't crushed or deformed. At a glance, I'm willing to bet they used Semtex. The explosion clearly occurred underneath the car. And JP wasn't able to respond. I got her message, right? Ooh. Wait, okay, since the interior of the car itself wasn't blown apart, it seems likely that they used a shaped charge deliberately set to flip the entire thing over. Now, it seems to suggest they didn't know ahead of time which seat their target would be using. Given such extensive damage to the entire vehicle, even if the cabin remained intact, there's no guarantee anyone would get out of the ensuing fire alive.
この事件はイリスさんに関係があるという話はしたわね。
Other than the fact that she was in the vicinity? Yeah?
それは単純にイリスさんが偶然事件に遭遇したという話ではなくて、
Okay.
イリスさん本人、あるいは彼女の実家であるイリス家に大きく関与しているということなのよ。
Am I having a dream? This feels like a dream. This is all happening extremely suddenly. Extremely suddenly. What do you mean?
爆破された車はイリスさんの家の車なのよ。乗車していたのは運転席に専属の運転手が一人。
Okay.
そして後部座席には
And
イ
who
リス家の人間が乗っていた。
and who wasn't?
イリス・サリナ、イリス・マキナの妹。
Oh crap. Okay, I can see where this is going. I can see exactly where this is going. Did she die? Is Makina going to become the heir again? Her younger sister. Makina's sister was. Wait, why was she even?
ほら、三島崎の駅の南側に今新しいファッションビルが建設中でしょ。
Yeah, that one that was supposed to be open before summer vacation, but ended up getting delayed. I remember Amani mentioning something about this. But from what she told me, the place was going to be something like a mall, focusing on high fashion. Numerous brands had signed on as tenants, along with the restaurants and a movie theater. In particular, there were some foreign boutiques that would be launching their first stores in Japan there, so its upcoming opening was apparently generating some real buzz.
その工事の遅れ自体にもいろいろな裏があるようなのだけれど、今は関係ないと考えて問題ないわ。
Perfect. Now how is it related?
イリスさんの妹さんはオープン前のとあるブランドショップに買い物に来ていて、その帰りに事件に遭遇したらしいわ。
Okay. Why do you know so much about this anyways?
知っている人間は何でも知っているものよ。あなた、蛇の道は蛇って知っている？
Oh no. Don't. Well, I know what that phrase means.
そうじゃなくて、そういう名前の会員制の情報サイトがあるのよ。
Huh?
今私が話した情報も、さっきの事件現場の詳細な画像も、そこからダウンロードしたものよ。
You're not like talking about like just a basic form, are you? An online members only information exchange by that name. Like a really private forum with just people who have influence and know-how? Okay. I see. JB's registered on a similar site actually. It's impossible to join without the recommendation of an existing member, and a new account is in the tens of millions of yen, and even the monthly fee is in the millions. I remember complaining about the ridiculous charges, but for some reason the stream of new applicants never seems to dry up. Come to think of it, it's a little disturbing that this girl already has a membership to a site like that at her age.
それなりに信頼のおけるサイトとはいえ、得られる情報には限度があるし、
Oh, duh.
私のポケットマネーで得られる情報なんてたかが知れているけれど、その他の案件と照らし合わせて考えれば、イリスさんの実家で何かがあったと見るべきでしょうね。
Okay, and what's that something to be?
それが分かっているようなら、私だってこんな回りくどい言い方はしないわよ。
Did she get out of line with what their expectations were? She wasn't doing well enough, and she's the only heir, so she didn't have to worry about it. She was going to a fashion boutique, yes. So maybe it was a matter of she was becoming a person saying, oh no, I just want to be rich and cool. I'm the heir. I deserve everything. Because Makin is not even there to push any sort of competition or anything, I suppose. Maybe she got like that, and they were like, nope, you need to learn something, or you need to be out of the picture.
これはあくまでも私の勝手な予測だけれど、イリスさんが実家を追われる原因にもなった誘拐事件。
Wait, how much have we even told you about that?
あの事件の引き金にもなった原子力発電所絡みの案件がまだ水面下で動いているのかもしれないわね。
Okay. But her father's dead. Hold on. Sakaki, you knew about Magina's kidnapping?
概要ぐらいはね。私の実家とも無関係ではないし、興味本位で調べたわけではないということは理解しておいてほしいわね。
Oh, fucking perfect. I hadn't heard it was connected to a nuclear power plant. Magina's father was an accountant in the Ministry of Defense, wasn't he? How's that tied together? Oh, I hadn't heard about. Oh, I just sort of figured he was the thing he was trying to show had to do with the nuclear power plant. Yeah, I just sort of figured that.
あなた、その情報どこから？
Shut up, tell me. Let's appear at my part-time job.
あなたのアルバイト先というのも私にはある程度予想はついているのだけれど。
Yeah.
正確なところは聞かない方がいいのよね。
Yeah, I assume you remember the shooting game. That'd be appreciated. Also, I'm nothing but a part-timer. Try to keep that in mind.
そうね。 今問題にするべきはイリスさんが何を見てどう関与したか。
Okay,
そこに尽きるでしょうね。
perfectly fine for me. There's a sickening swell of uneasiness rising in my chest. What the hell is this? What's going on? This is so fucking sudden.
マキちゃん、やっと眠ってくれました。
Is it alright to leave her alone?
はい、今は静かに眠っていますし、みちる様が付き添っていますから大丈夫です。
Michiru? Oh, always the best. I suppose she's pretty good at that part at least.
一体何があったというの？彼女から何か聞けた？
はい、詳しい話を聞くことができました。
Huh.
私はマキちゃんのことまだ何も知らなかったんだ。そう思い知らされました。
Damn, okay, so did it remind her of something? Why was Magina on the scene of the bombing in the first place? Did her sister know about her being here and went to visit her or something?
現場にいたというわけではなくて、近所の喫茶店とホテルにパンの配達に行っている途中だったようです。
They have bread delivery? Okay. Okay, and I guess we're going to figure out if in my new recording system, if this system is also going to always hang. Okay, we'll see. Makino cheerfully humming her way down the street in front of the station, bags of fresh bread carefully cradled in her arms, when she noticed a shrill, irritable-sounding voice a little ways ahead of her. When she casually glanced up to find its source, Makina discovered that the voice belonged to a girl her own age. The girl was walking down the sidewalk in the opposite direction, a man in a black suit following closely behind like an escort. Makina recognized that girl at once. And she's sort of blushing. Okay. It was her little sister. When the psychological trauma of Makina's kidnapping had left her unable to handle even the demands of everyday life, this girl had taken her place as the future leader of their clan. Although Makina thought of her as a sister, their fathers were different, and she was the product of a lengthy tryst between Makina's mother and a man from a branch family. Unlike Makina, who took after her father with a round, chubby face, her sister's features had always been more refined, strongly resembling that of her mother. As a child, Makina had been envious of her appearance. But today, that sharpened face was contorted with irritation and an expression that spoke of stress and deep-rooted frustration.
私が来ることは事前に知らせてあったし、希望する商品も伝えてあったでしょうに。どうしてちゃんとサイズを揃えておかないの？
If that's how you're gonna... Sorry, nah, okay. If that's how you're going to fucking operate, just fucking order online, my goodness.
商売をする気がないのかしら。それとも私をバカにしているの？
Oh, no.
申し訳ございません。事前通達に不備がございました。後日屋敷の方へ届けさせますので、どうかご容赦をいただきたく。
As the voices drew closer, Makina reflexively hid herself in the shadows. It was an old habit. If Makina hadn't taken ill, her sister never would have been placed in her current position. She'd probably be living normally in the Branch family even now. At first glance, this pampered, ultra-privileged lifestyle might seem preferable to that. However, Makina had learned from Kazami Yuuji that a life totally free of inconvenience only hinders your growth as an individual. And today, she couldn't see the girl in front of her as anything but an unfortunate. Robbed of her dreams, hopes, and freedom in exchange for empty luxury, she felt a twinge of something very much like pity. Makina had been the same way once. It was only after her arrival at Miyama that she came to understand the virtues of a normal existence. Biting her lower lip, she whimpered a sympathetic apology inside her mind. "I'm sorry, Sachin." Makina first learned that she had a little sister when she was 5 years old. As the eldest daughter of the family's head, she had been raised as an only child, but when she learned that her mother had been born a child to the Branch family's second son only a year after her birth, she was genuinely happy. At the time, Makina didn't really understand the implications of her mother giving birth to a child of a man other than her husband, and the reasons why that child couldn't enter the main family, or even meet her older sister, were equally mystifying. In the first place, Makina wouldn't even have learned of her sister's existence if not for a butler's careless slip of the tongue. But once she did know, Makina developing a burning curiosity toward the girl she never even met. Every once in a while, she would pay her sister stealthy visits, observing her life from afar. Every time she spied on that little girl, living a normal life as a member of the Branch family, the knowledge that she had a sibling grew more real to her. Many times, Makina would come on the verge of calling out to her, only holding back at the last moment. Looking at her sister, clinging affectionately to her stepmother's waist, Innocently begging her mommy for some treat, Makina knew the sudden arrival of a big sister could very well shatter the girl's peaceful family. She could never bring herself to take that risk. But Makina didn't stop taking the time to go see her sister. Eventually, she invented the nickname for the girl she never spoke to, developing a one-sided make-believe relationship. Even the day she was kidnapped, just before going to her language class at cram school, she'd been secretly watching her little sister from inside her chauffeured car. And that was the last time Makina had seen her sister. Only hours later, she was kidnapped. Her father was killed before her eyes, and she was assigned to a life in a hospital that lasts many years. Makina knew the girl was her little sister, but the girl didn't know her, and there was no real reason she had to hide. After a moment's hesitation, she emerged from her hiding place, resettling the bread in her arms, just as she'd done in the old days, when in a slightly playful mood, she carefully forced a nonchalant expression onto her face and began walking towards her sister. The man in the business suit behind the girl was burdened with the countless bags and emblazoned the names of expensive clothing stores, no doubt the result of an almost rudely indiscriminate shopping spree on Serena's part. The trip was probably less about buying clothes than it was venting built-up stress from the heavy responsibilities and expectations. placed on the family's future leader. Makina remembered doing something very similar herself, even as a child. Been a while, huh? As they walked past each other on the sidewalk, Makina offered her sister a silent greeting inside her mind. They passed each other like this numerous times before, although only Makina knew it. Every time it felt as though the words, "I'm your big sister," would slip out of her mouth. But they could never make it past the tip of her tongue, and today was no different. It wasn't just a possibility. Her sister's current position was founded on her absence. For another thing, Serena had almost certainly been told she was dead. Even if it was permitted, Makina wouldn't know how to begin speaking to her, let alone what they could talk about. Makina glanced over her shoulder, catching a glimpse of her sister being helped into a sleek black car stopped by the side of the road. It was reassuring to see her sister was being taken care of. Oh god, if her sister dies, that's really gonna fuck with her head, yeah? But the thought of that reminded Makina that she herself no longer had a place in the house she was born into. She couldn't help feeling a slight prick of sadness. But today, she had a hard-won family of her own. The students at Mihama. Yeah. They'd given her things her real family never could. Feeling her heart grow lighter, Makina clutched the warm bread against her chest and drew a deep breath. Drinking up the comforting sense of wheat, a small smile spread across her face. Once this delivery was over, the day's work would be done. She wanted to run home and see everyone, to give Amane a call in Tokyo. Buoyed by these thoughts, she took a step forward, and in that instant, Makina felt a flash of heat against the back of her body, almost like a burst of powerful sunlight. Before she could even flinch, a thunderous roar rattled her eardrum so harshly that it caused her physical pain. A fraction of a second later, fine particles of something like sand swept violently past her, flying down the asphalt like waves. And as the burning wind crawled over her, she saw the light, downy hair on her forearm smoldering. Even if she doesn't die, that's going to be crippling in some way. With a strangled half scream, Makina squeezed her eyes shut just before the massive wave of heat knocked her down on the sidewalk. For a moment, she couldn't process what just had happened. Crumpled on the hard concrete, listening to the grit gliding across the asphalt, the answers come to her slowly and haltingly, as if filtered through the translation of a clumsy interpreter. An explosion. It took a full 2 seconds for those words to float to the surface of Makina's mind. She picked herself onto her knees, disbelieving, telling herself it couldn't be. But when she turned around, she came face to face with the harsh, undeniable reality. Her dumbfounded gaze found the luxury black sedan her sister had stepped into moments before. It was lying upside down, all but consumed in a bright red flame. No, this can't be real. This time her mind couldn't catch up at all. She didn't want it to. She didn't want to accept the reality before her eyes. Just a moment ago, she'd seen her sister from the side, a slightly irritated expression on her face. She chose so close she could have reached out and touched her. Many thoughts were circulating frantically around inside her head, as her mind tried desperately to make something like a sense out of the situation. But it was all fragments, nonsense, noise. There's no answer she could accept. Somebody was yelling in her ear. She can understand that it was the voice of someone who's worried about her, still sitting glued to the ground. But she couldn't muster the focus to decipher the words, much less respond to them. Makina didn't move an inch from that spot, until at last the voice said, "We need to get out of here," and firm hands pulled her to her feet.
マキちゃんを寮まで連れ帰ってくれたのは八百屋のご主人でした。
Did he finish the delivery? I'm sorry. Oh,
最初
God.
は病院に連れて行こうとしたらしいのですが、マキちゃんが病院はどうしても嫌だっていうものだからここに連れてきたそうです。
She's not physically injured, right?
はい、右腕に赤くなる程度の軽い火傷を負っていますが、冷やせばきれいに治ります。ですが、
The psychological damage is going to be more
そ
severe.
のようです。
Hmm.
こんな時、私のような女はただただ無力を痛感するわ。
We all have our skills and connections and everything, but the fact that any of us are here means that we really don't have that much influence in the first place, let alone the fact that we're just individuals. Sakaki's words express my current feelings to the latter. I don't know what to do. I don't know how I'm supposed to talk to her. I don't even know what sort of expression I should have on my face when I go to see her. Approach this the wrong way, and I might as well end up making things even worse. Thoughts like these rob us of the ability to even try. But I suppose there is only one thing I can do, small as it may be.
イリス・マキナが事件に巻き込まれたそうね。
You're on top of things as always. Wait to hear about that.
あなた、蛇の道は蛇って知っている？
Oh, great. Yeah, I am. It's a membership-based information exchange where your sort of people gather, right? Something wrong?
なんで知ってるのよ？誰に聞いたの？相変わらず油断のならない子ね。
Anyway, how much information do you manage to gather over there?
どれくらいと言っても、新聞やニュースと大して変わらないわ。市ヶ谷としても、まだ警戒とも言えない様子見のレベルだしね。
Does anyone even know what it was? Who did it? What it was for? Is it just an assassination? Or... Yeah. Does that mean there's a possibility of initiating active observation in the future?
それはあなたの知る必要のないことで
Does
す。
that mean I won't be involved no matter what? Julia?
そんな声を出してもダメ。
Can I come to your place tonight?
ダメ。
I just wanted to have some of your home cooking for the first time in a while. Still no good.
そんなこと言ったって、ダメなものはダメなんだからね。
When you refuse me that stubbornly, it's as good as admitting there's a high chance the problem's going to get worse. Does this have anything to do with you not picking up your phone lately? The news seems to be pushing a theory that this was an act of terrorism motivated by the construction of a nuclear power plant. What's the real story?
答えられないわ。
I see. Sorry, I'm not looking to harass you here, but can you answer me two more questions? Whatever information you can give me is fine.
言ってみなさい。聞くだけは聞いてあげる。
How's Makina's younger sister doing?
ニュースで流れている通りよ。命は取り留めたものの、予断を許さない状況が続いているわ。
This family just has shit happen to the children all the time, doesn't it? What's she making?
なんとも言えないわね。皮膚や臓器の移植が必要なレベルだとの情報が入っているし、近いうちに海外に移送して提供者を待つという噂もあるわね。
What? Magina's not a donor, or a potential one. I'm surprised they're not knocking on her door. I see.
質問はそれだけ？
No, there's one other, on an unrelated topic. But this is one thing I really want to know.
でしょうね。いいわ。言ってみなさい。
If Makina's sister ends up losing her current position due to her injuries, is there a possibility Makina will be expected to resume that role?
その回答は拒否するわ。
Let me rephrase it then. Is there a possibility that Makina is going to be in danger? Is there a possibility Makina is going to be in danger going forward?
あなた、どこまで嗅ぎつけているの？
Essentially nothing. My nose is just twitching, that's all. Is basically a leading question.
そうね。このままあなたに憶測だけでおかしな行動を取られても迷惑だし。
Indeed. And given my current position with her, it definitely seems like something I should be aware of, right? Since I'll be making some important decisions going forward, right?
正直なところを話しておくけど、イリスマキナに危険が及ぶ可能性は決して低くはないわね。
Oh, fuck.
私の見立てでは 70% の確率で何らかの接触があるでしょうね。
What's the range of some way?
だけど、その件に関しては近いうちにあなたに声がかかる可能性が高いわ。
In regards to assignments from Ichigaya, or just as a personal thing because I'm involved with Magina.
だから今は余計なことをしないでちょうだい。通常通り命令に備えて待機していなさい。
In other words, no independent use of force outside the range of self-defense.
その通り。犬は犬らしく、主人が紐を引くまで小屋でおとなしくしていなさい。怪しい人が来たらふてくされてないでちゃんと吠えるのよ。
Good to know. Can I really trust you on this?
飼い主を疑うな。それがいい犬の第一条件よ。あの朝子でさえ命令無視なんて数えるほどしかしなかったんだから。
Alright, try counting them.
1回、2回、3回、4、5、6、7。
You're running out of fingers fast.
うるさいな。あの女の真似をしたってろくなことにならないわよ。いいから命令があるまでおとなしくしてるの。いい？わかった？
Yes, mommy.
あんたみたいな可愛くない子、産んだ覚えはないわよ。話はそれだけ？もう切るわよ。
Yeah. Thanks, I'll be in touch. Well then, what to do? It's clear that things are going to get real troublesome in a number of ways, but as always, I'm in the dark on specific details. JB's telling me to do nothing. That's probably the optimal choice at the moment. Even so, that doesn't make it any easier to accept. Get moving before you start thinking too much was a favorite saying of my master's. But JB's found that the acting on the basis of incomplete information is like asking for disaster. For now, it might be wise to just stay at Magina's side as much as possible while preparing for the possibility of an emergency. There's no need to overthink this. I know what I want to protect. I can see it clearly now. Ideally, I'd love to extinguish the source of this fire before the sparks spread in our direction, but if that's not going to be a possibility, I just need to be ready for it when things really do get ugly. After all, you won't find many guard dogs with nastier fangs than mine. I've been sharpening these teeth for a very long time for this exact purpose. Teeth made to catch prey by the tail, drag them close and rip out the windpipe in one bite. And I think that's where I'm going to end it. Okay, this took a very sharp turn. Okay. Hey, it seems like the story's getting started. Yeah. I can tell why this is the longest one. It sort of has like a little arc of Yuuji getting closer to Makina, going to the grave, and now this, and it has its own little arcs within the arc. No, I get it. I get it. Some of my thoughts from earlier in the episode, like, Yuuji causing his entire family to die. I wonder what he did. I do. Possibilities basically would have to be associated with something that would lead to Asako being on the scene at the time of it all happening, right? Actually, no, never mind. Family died and he went into another situation, right? He went into another situation that she was on the scene for. So, maybe it has to do with the person who took him in and maybe it has to do with the person who took him in after that, the evil person, the villain. Maybe he did something really childish and naive that led to everyone becoming extremely vulnerable and someone like the villain choosing that their lives were forfeit. Or something like that, I don't know. I sort of expect us to see more of that though. Simply because I was told that this was one of the most in-depth about Yuji's backstory and whatnot this route. So, that's all I have for today. I'll see you all next time. Drive safely, everyone.